Hey, Kevin, how you doing, man?
Evening, how's it going?
Sorry, fucking Microsoft forced an update on both of us, and then I just got up. He's still installing, and it's like, so he's got like a makeshift headset microphone thing going on an old laptop, so he sounds like fucking shit. He sounds like he's crawled inside of a cave inside of a fucking oak barrel to get some rum or something. Like,
yeah, we'll just fix it in post.
Right? I don't know if I can fix this one. he was in the loader the other day at work when we were doing a pre-record interview, and he sounded 10 times better. He sounded a little muffled, but it sounded 10 times better. All right, make sure you guys can hear this whenever it decides to fucking load. There we go.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right.
I can't even believe
nice.
I can't believe that's the template that I fucking just put. None of them have names on them. It's just, 120, 60, 90, and then a number. Apparently, kid that doesn't wear nothing is the break we're going to have.
I say, did my mic do anything weird on your end?
Nope.
Or still sound normal?
You sound okay right now. Just don't turn Barry White on me.
Well, that's what I was afraid of, because it did just about the same thing when that happened on my end.
Please remember, the views and opinions expressed by this show or any other show on DV Radio and its guests are strictly those of said individuals and do not reflect those of the DV Radio staff nor the staff of Dysfunctional Veterans.
Let's get it started in here. Get this party started on a Saturday night. I'm on a highway to hell all night long. 'Cause I got friends in low places where they play that funky music, white boy. And I don't wanna miss a thing. I'm alive, yeah.
Online and on the go on your mobile device.
Listeners' discretion is advised.
This is Barretts Talk. It's DV Radio.
Google broke the toilet.
But I think I just broke my desk.
Tonight, Google is planning on taking over the world.
You can dip Brussels sprouts in chocolate to make them look like cake pops.
$15 is a little steep for a bag of dicks. It should be like $14.99.
I'm pretty easy to please.
Not even want to touch it as much as I want to.
Are you sure?
And we just went there.
Boom, 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 boom.
Because this is how it is on DV Radio. Yeah, you listen to the podcast there, young man.
You're tuned in to WDVR on dvradio.net or by searching DV Radio on the free Live 365 app on your mobile device.
Because this is how it is on DV Radio.
That is how it is right here on WDVR, dvradio.net. This is Barretts Talk. It is September 28, 2019. Fall has officially begun, and you wouldn't know it if you live in North Carolina because it fucking sucks. Joining us tonight, we have Oink, Frosty, Marquis Davis. Google will be late showing up. DV6 will not be here at all, more than likely. We'll tell you more about that in just a bit. And our special guest host from the Charlie Mike podcast, Mr. Kevin. He'll tell you why he's on here and why he's joining DV Radio tonight a little bit later in the show. How's everyone doing this evening?
Doing good here.
Don't everybody talk at once. No, we're doing good up here, man.
Doing pretty good, and I even remembered to unmute this time.
Woo!
Give that Marine a star.
Either Marquis messing with the kids blew up the modem, or he forgot to unmute.
No, I'm frying pork chops. I cook late, so there you go.
This motherfucker right here, I've never seen somebody eat at midnight their last meal of the day like this guy right here. I thought DV6 and Google were bad. Marquis Davis will cook at midnight, supper, or dinner, whatever the fuck you want to call it, every night. I don't know how you do it, Marquis. How do you do it, brother?
With a lot of grace and patience.
Good. Anyway, yeah, so this week has been one more fucking week. Let me get, like holy shit. First off, nobody's been banned from DV. If that's what you're thinking, you weren't. Shit happens. Facebook banned us completely. We cannot whatsoever have another dysfunctional veterans Facebook page. It's impossible. Why? Because they unpublished our original page, and you can't make a duplicate. So they're now, if you are making duplicates of Facebook pages, they are cracking the ban hammer on your ass. So you can't have version 69,452 anymore of your Facebook page. So if you've made a version because your main one got unpublished, look for it to get unpublished again probably fairly soon. We got that from very reputable sources, and it's not just DV. It's a lot of pages that use their rights. A lot of people are like, well, you don't understand. They're a private company. They can censor you if they want to. No, we understand that completely. Our main thing is, why would you want to censor someone using your platform when they get you a shit ton of fucking usage base and bring you a shit ton of money? That's beyond us. But aside from that, yeah, DV is we don't have a dysfunctional veterans Facebook page. We do have the dysfunctional veterans closed group that's only open for military service members and veterans. Military service members and veterans only. Nobody, if you're a friend, family. I just signed to get in through MEPS, and I've not went through basic yet, but I ship out on December 16th, 2019, and I haven't hit puberty yet. You are not a fucking military service member, and you're not a veteran, so don't try to get in there. Please answer the questions. Seriously. Answer the fucking questions. You don't answer the questions, you don't get in. Simple as that. The Veteran Humor page on Facebook, that is us. That is Dysfunctional Veterans. That is DV Radio. That is DV Farm. That is us. So if your friends, family, co-workers, battle buddies, blue falcons, assholes, dickwads, dickweeds, sand vaginas, whatever, go to facebook.com/Veteran Humor 76 or just search Veteran Humor on Facebook and join us over there on Facebook that way. Outside of Facebook, DV Radio went back to MeWe. I'm not going to lie. We went back to MeWe. I fucking hate having 68,000 social medias, but it's the only place I can post whatever the fuck I want and not get a fucking, my penis hurts because you hurt my feelings. Like, go fuck yourself, okay? That's what I've got to say about that. And what you guys don't understand, it really hurts us. Not just in the format of helping our fellow brothers and sisters with the 22 or the resources that we help them with, or just having someone to talk with, or pushing out DV Radio or the DV Farm or fundraisers. That's not the only thing it hurts. It hurts us as a whole company, as one of the entities. The farm. The farm is getting hit the biggest out of this. It really fucking is. And that's one thing that DV6 wanted me to talk to you all about tonight. Tonight, DV6 and Google are currently at the fundraiser in Massachusetts. DV6 is honestly worried about the farm. He's legitimately worried. We can't have DV on Facebook anymore as far as Dysfunctional Veterans Facebook page. So we don't have, the almost 2 million usage followers with the 70 million fucking post reach of a Facebook page anymore. So it's impossible for us to get that reach without the help of you guys, whether you're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, MeWe, whatever. DV Farm relies on donations from the public. It always has, and it always will. If you didn't see it on Facebook today, DV Farm posted a $5,000 fundraiser where we're trying to raise funds. I am dropping that link in the DV Radio chat right now. That's what the link is. I didn't write anything with it. Please share that with any and everybody. If you are in a bad spot, don't put yourself in a worse spot by donating. Just share the post. Ask companies, hey, do you want to, give money to this farm up in Keene, New Hampshire that is helping veterans to rehabilitate because they're addicted and they're homeless and they need a place to go because the VA didn't work for them. Normal, everyday rehab didn't work for them. It's a joke until it's not. And it was a joke back before, you know, all this shit hit us. Before 2016, it was a joke. It was funny. It was cool to get banned. Now, you know, getting banned hurts everybody at the end of the day. The haters, they're loving it, but they also don't realize that they're next, and that they're hurting their own brothers and sisters that they claim that they want to help. And again, if you can share the post for the DV farm that I just linked there on DV Radio Chat, please do it. If you can give, thank you. If you can't, again, just share the fuck out of it. The farm is full right now. We have to pay bills. We have to cover the animals. We have to do everything. We have to upkeep it. We're still trying to get a lot of shit there, and we're trying to keep what we've got. And the only way we can do that is with money. Sadly, money fucking talks. That's how the fucking economy works. Can't do nothing without it. So again, the post that is linked in the DV Radio Chat, or if you want to go to Facebook and look for DV Farm, it should be pinned at the top. Comment, share, donate. Do not put yourself in a worse position than you already are. Outside of that post, you can go directly to dvfarm.org. Click on the donate after you get inside the website and follow the prompts, and you can donate through PayPal. Also, if you don't have the extra funds but you still want to donate, go to smile.amazon.com, make DV Farm your charity of choice. A lot of you, that's the way you shop, is online, and I completely understand it. I'm homebound. That's how I get most of my shopping done. But a portion... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, especially with the holidays coming up, I know some people like to shop early. Definitely use that smile.amazon.com.
Exactly. That's exactly where I was headed at. You know, the holidays are upon us. October is coming up. Then before you know it, Thanksgiving, then Christmas is hitting us. I mean, yesterday we were talking about 4th of July and New Year's Day. So, again, smile.amazon.com, make DV Farm your charity of choice. When you purchase something, you're paying for the products. That's it. Nothing else. You don't pay anything extra. No hidden fees, nothing. Amazon gives a portion of your shopping cart price to the DV Farm. It doesn't sound like a lot, but when you've got somebody that bought $80 worth of stuff, and then you got somebody that bought $200 worth of stuff, and then somebody that bought $5 worth of stuff, that adds up. So either way you look at it, it's helping the farm. And again, if you can push to your local companies or whatever that wants to help us out, that'd be greatly appreciated as well. Yes, Oink.
I was just going to say, and hell yeah, why not spend Amazon's money?
Right. Yeah, that's one of the. That's probably I think it is. I think it surpassed Walmart for being the biggest online shopping retailer in the world right now. So, yeah, I've blown my load, as DV6 said. Anyway, that's what DV6 wanted me to tell you all. He's honestly worried about the funds for the farm, and we all have been for a while, and it really hit us this week, especially with Facebook hitting us. We made a post over on dvrthoughts.com about that. If you agree with it, you agree with it. If you don't, you don't. We don't give a fuck. You want to censor us, but you want to sit there and say you want to help everybody. You can't have it both ways. That's one, you can't have your cake and eat it too moment. And but yeah. And yes, for those that keep telling us, you don't understand, it's a private company, go fuck yourself and suck a dick while you're at it. Anyway, I'm off my soapbox. So, oh my God. Marquis Dirty 30 did premiere with an all-new show tonight. He's talking about the impeachment process. We're not going to go into it too much right now, but Marquis, do you want to give us a couple of highlights since we have about 15 minutes left before break?
Oh, wow. That's my whole damn show.
No. Don't talk about it for 15 minutes. I didn't mean that. This is what we talk about when we say we needed our color commentator back.
All right, look, hey, only thing I did during this Dirty 30 was simply try to explain the impeachment process. Everyone has this misconception that once they say we're going to do impeachment, the president has 3 days to leave, like you owe back rent or something. Not like that. This entire process that I explained also gave historical aspects of the 3 previous impeachments that we have been through in this country and how it affects things and things of that nature, just to help clarify. And I did give my opinion on this, but, who cares what I think? Back to you, Boner.
Thank you. Yes, the impeachment process is not what people think it is. We've tried to explain it here on DV Radio a few times. We don't like to get into the details as much as Marquis brought out, but we have hit on those points, and I think you all should listen to it, especially if you think that you probably don't fucking know. He talks about Al Gore, Bill Clinton, George Bush, Trump, and a few other things. So you really definitely want to hear that when we publish that on podcast in the next few days. Again, that's the Marquis Dirty 30. We actually, myself, Frosty and Oink, got to interview yesterday Betsy Ross, the author of the Fight series. She's at Vet Fest this weekend over in Texas. Guys, what did you think about interviewing her? We're not going to play that interview tonight. It's actually going to be in a couple weeks from now. But I enjoyed it. What did you guys think?
I did. I mean, like I told her, it was something that I looked forward to once I started reading the book. My take on it's probably a little bit different than some of our other brothers and sisters out there that may had to put the book down once or twice. I was able to read through it and get really involved with the characters that she laid out quite well in the series. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely check out Fight and Fight 2. Well worth your time.
Yes, it was great getting to interview her and kind of seeing what her thought process was as she was putting the books together and just looking at that part of it and hearing how she had to actually set it aside while she was writing it. It was kind of cool that, because I was one of those that when I read it, I had to set it aside a few times. So it was really fun.
Yeah, definitely being able to pick at her brain a little bit, because we did. Obviously, we didn't do it too much in the interview. But afterwards, Oink had to work yesterday. You'll hear us talking about that a little bit in the interview. But after Oink left, because he had to leave, myself and Frosty sat there with Betsy, probably a good, half hour, 45 minutes later.
Yeah, at least that.
And not only did we talk about the book, but we just talked about everyday stuff and getting to know the person behind the person that wrote the book. That may not make sense to you, but when you hear the interview, I think it'll make a lot more sense. It was a beautiful interview. We could have talked on, literally, we could have went for hours. I enjoyed it. You could tell she was a little nervous. She's like anybody else that comes on here, which I understand. I get anxiety every week when I do the show. I have anxiety problems, always have. I've spoke in front of people since I was 12, and to this day I get anxiety. It's not a, oh my God, I can't do this, I'm going to puke moment, but it's one of those, oh my God, my chest is tight, the breath in my throat has not exhaled kind of anxiety. So I understand where she's coming from completely. I am comfortable with being on the show, obviously. I do it. I've done it for 52 weeks per year since we've been here, plus, our extra little shows. So obviously I'm comfortable with doing it. But yeah, we got to know Betsy Ross, and like I said, we got to pick at her brain. We don't know yet if we're going to have the entire interview on the show coming in a couple of weeks, but either way, you're going to hear the full interview after the show, because I'm going to make it its own standalone podcast. I believe all told, we interviewed her for about 35 to 40 minutes. So I don't want you guys to be hearing like, oh my God, we got to listen to this for half an hour. I understand. But at the same time, it's something you guys need to listen to. And as Oink and Frosty have said, I've said, go check out the books. You can get them on Kindle for free at Amazon, I believe, if you haven't ever gotten a Kindle book. So you can use your free trial or your free books to get those. You can also purchase them from Amazon. So go do that. She's writing book 3 right now. Hopefully, she said she gets it done by December, and we'll have her back on. But either way, I love working with her. She's a great, great woman. She's been through shit that, some of us have been and some of us haven't been. And again, look forward to letting you guys hear that on October 12th. 2019. That's in 2 weeks. Next week, October 5th, we've got Mike Gordia. If you guys don't remember author Mike Gordia, he is the one that wrote the book about Hal Moore, the guy that Mel Gibson portrayed in We Were Soldiers a few years ago with Sam Elliott. Gotta love Sam Elliott. That voice, man, it just moves my testicles. Makes my nipples hard. Anyway, Mike Gordia is going to be on next week, October 5th, to talk about the Tomcat Fury, a book he just got out there. It's about the F-14s. I love Mike Gordia's stuff. We've read his Christmas children's book here on the air. Frosty, could you remind everybody what the name of that book is?
No.
You're a dick. You're a dick.
I don't remember it. I don't have it handy.
Oh, my God. Hold on a second. Go to MikeGordia.com right now. I'm already there, guy. I'm already there. It's World War II Night Before Christmas. It's actually to the rhythm and rhyme of The Night Before Christmas. And it's a no censorship book for kids. What I mean by that is he doesn't change history. He actually uses history to tell to tell The Night Before Christmas to the kids. It's beautifully written. It's beautifully illustrated. I can't praise that book enough. And I think Frosty even was like, I like it. So that's coming from a Marine that eats crayons. Yeah.
It's a good book, and the pictures are even better.
Right. So, yeah, Mike Gordia is coming on October 5th to talk to us and tell us about Tomcat Fury. Hopefully I get his book before he gets here because I want to read at least a portion of it. Because, like I said, I love his books. I've read Hal Moore on leadership. I've read his children's Christmas book. I've read a few excerpts of some other stuff he's written. I'm trying to make a Mike Gordia shelf if I ever get that point, But anyway, he's a fellow brother. He served. He's a veteran. We got to bring him on because he's just that fucking awesome. Oh my God. That was a fucking 2.5, guys. At least we haven't, had that much dead air tonight. But we've got Kevin from Charlie Mike Podcast. Kevin, we're not going to go too much in depth right now about who you are and what you're doing because I want to save that till after the break. But give everybody a little bit of a teaser about what we're going to talk about after the break, if you don't mind.
Yeah, not a problem. I appreciate you guys having me on. I got out of the Army last year. I retired, and I'm 42 years old. Still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. And I decided to go into broadcasting school. I got a little bit of a background in filmmaking while I was in the Army, and I decided to go to broadcasting school. And they started talking about podcasts, and I thought, you know what? Let me try and start up my own and get some information out to some veterans. And so far, it's going pretty well.
And you're also in school, correct, for broadcasting?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. I just want to make sure everybody knows that you're in school for broadcasting. We'll go into a little more depth about that after the break, like I said, and we'll also talk about Marquis' impeachment process show that aired tonight. We have a lot of stuff going on. Warrior Talk Radio, I am in talks with the founder and CEO, Jen, and Mr. Robbie Mack. If I butchered your call name, please forgive me because I'm used to calling you by your actual name. He lives here in North Carolina. They're all going to be here in North Carolina very soon, and hopefully we can get them out to my house. And once my studio is somewhat fixed, we can talk and collaborate. We have a show that I think needs to be done. I've wanted to do it for a long time. Oink and Frosty know about it. DB6 and Recoil knows about it. I haven't got to talk to Marquis because he's always busy looting over on the avenues and boulevards. So I'll talk to him about that as well. But it's something that is near and dear to not only myself, but Oink and Frosty and Recoil and DB6, as well as Jen. And I can't praise those guys enough. We're going to be cross-promoting shows. Some of our shows will be syndicated over there and vice versa. We're also going to be collaborating. Excuse me. I had a frog in my throat. I wanted to say penis, but then that would make me sound gay. And I don't want to sound gay right now because I'm trying to be serious. But anyway, we had our Patreon movie night last night. Sorry for those that couldn't make it. It was fun. We had a few hiccups, but it was fun, to say the least. But as for shows that's coming up, we still have the Noir show that we are fucking working on. We have to write scripts for every episode. It's probably going to be about 5 to 10 episodes starting out. We don't know yet. About half an hour each. None of them will more than likely, play off of each other. We might have recurring themes and or jokes and stuff. But it's a satire about military based in a noir setting. So, I was sitting there with the smoke circling my head. She walked through. Anyway, that's the kind of show we're going to be making. It'll be the first and only scripted show we've had here on DV Radio. It is an original. The music therapy block that we're working on. I'm actually talking to Rob Mack from Warrior Talk Radio. We're going to be working on some stuff and coming up with some better ways to stream to you guys as far as video and audio. So that's something great. Speaking of ways to do stuff as far as quality, did you guys see the post that I put out on DV Radio today about what got donated?
I seen it. I was lucky enough to actually get to see some of the photos and before you posted it. So that's what happened was awesome.
Yeah. If you guys didn't know it, I'll drop the link over in DV Radio chat right now. There it is. That's the link you guys get to see. It was donated to us by a couple that I know. They're fucking amazing. I can't praise them enough. They wanted nothing in return whatsoever. They just wanted to get rid of it. It's a PV mixer. If you didn't know, brand new. They run anywhere from $500 to $1,500. Brand new. So that right there was fucking amazing. The fact that they gave that to us. We cannot. Thank you for that, Frosty.
Fucking Los Anchorage.
Street race night out there somewhere.
But yeah, that's all I hear when the lowriders go by.
I'm so used to it, I can't hear it.
Right. That was an amazing donation that they gave to us, and it will see a shit ton of use. I can assure you all of that as soon as we get stuff set up in my studio. So thank you to Mr. and Ms. Anonymous. They didn't want to be known in the public, and I completely understand. But thank you to so much. You don't understand how awesome that is and how appreciative we are. If you guys want, we'll go to break. We'll come back. We'll talk to Mr. Kevin from Charlie Mike Podcast. You can check out Charlie Mike Podcast over on Facebook and follow the links to get you to his podcast. And we'll talk about why he's here on Barretts Talk and hopefully coming to DV Radio very soon. You're listening to Barretts Talk right here on WDVR, DVRadio.net.
DV Radio.
Nothing to watch on TV. That's why you're listening to Barretts Talk on DVRadio.net, WDVR.
This ain't reality TV! It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal!
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Oh, rude! Well, isn't that special?
Laddie, don't you think you should rephrase that?
My mama said that. My mom.
Good day, sir!
Now class is dismissed, gentlemen.
What's DV Radio?
DV Radio is for you, the veteran, active duty service member, caregiver, and civilian supporter of the military. DVRadio.net is the online veteran network made for and by veterans. From original shows to syndication, you can find it here on DVRadio.net. In an effort to continue our mission and make better quality shows for each and every one of you, visit our Patreon at patreon.com/DV Radio. Whether you can only pledge $1 per month or that entire $1 million inheritance your uncle left you, there's a tier with rewards waiting for you. So why not keep DV Radio running and get rewarded at the same time? Head to patreon.com/DV Radio now. That's patreon.com/DV Radio.
DV Radio.
Let's get it on.
We got some food made for you!
The music.
Let's go!
You're listening to WDVR on DVRadio.net. By veterans, for veterans.
Simply made for you.
That's right. This is DVRadio.net, WDVR. It is simply made for you. This is Barretts Talk. I'm Boulderwood. We have Frosty, Oink, Marky Davis, and Kevin from the Charlie Mike podcast with us tonight. Before we jump into Mr. Kevin about what the Charlie Mike podcast is, we just want to remind you that DV Radio is sponsored in parts by Nightcap Productions as well as Shooters Express. Grab what the forecast and backseat navigator on your iOS and Android devices today to show your support for Nightcap Productions. And if you live in the state of North Carolina and you're looking for a reputable and inexpensive firearms store complete with a range, head over to Belmont, North Carolina and go into Shooters Express. For more information on their cheap prices for concealed carry classes, monthly deals, and much more, head to shootersexpress.com. And now, on to Mr. Kevin about the Charlie Mike podcast. How you doing tonight, Kevin?
I'm hanging in there. How about yourself?
I'm fucking fired the fuck up, brother man. Woo!
You sound like you're having a good day.
Oh yeah, fucking outstanding, perfect. Microsoft wanted to force updates on us. We're doing great tonight. But in all seriousness, you just got into the quote unquote radio business. You go to school for it. You are retired from the military. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what you've done in the military and why you're doing what you're doing now?
Yeah, so I started out as a photographer when I first joined the military, and then I switched over to being a military police, and from there I went to criminal investigation, CID. Please don't hate me for that. So I retired, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I had like 5 or 6 different jobs because I thought I had to be working. And then I found a job that I thought I was really going to enjoy. And they said, oh, no, you've got an unstable employment history because I've had so many jobs since I got out. I'm like, great. So I kind of screwed myself over there. And then I decided, well, let me use my GI Bill. And I actually found this broadcasting school kind of on accident. And since I used to do photography and video filmmaking in the Army, I figured, you know what, why not? Great, so we started class. And one of our classes was on podcasts. And one of the things I noticed when I got out was that it was hard to locate veterans resources easily. I could go to Google and try and look for certain things, but it would take me down this crazy rabbit hole. So I thought, you know what, let me try and consolidate as many veterans resources as I can into one spot and then get people from those resources on a podcast so they can tell us all about what they do for veterans and try and get that information out to fellow veterans. So that's kind of what I'm doing, what I'm starting at. And I'm also trying to get veterans who own a business to come on so they can promote their business as well.
Right. And you hit us up. You liked what we were doing, but we were impressed by what you were doing. You just starting out, and the quality, number one, awesome with the podcast. Secondly, the fact that you get the resource thing. I wish I could high five you right now. Sort of can't through a laptop screen.
Long distance.
Yeah, exactly. But that's another thing you and I actually talked about. We've talked about it here on Barretts Talk and other shows here on DV Radio. But that's one thing that we have always tried to push with DV since its inception is, the resources are out there, but people don't know what to type in. They don't know where to look. And as you said, you type in something to a browser search engine and you're going to be there for probably half an hour, 2 days, 5 years, somewhere in there.
Well, most of us are probably going to end up looking at porn at some point. So
right. And you're right with the rabbit hole because, you type in VA disability claim file form and it doesn't always pop up. I'll attest to that. And you'll see an article about how to file it. And then you see reasons why you should wait or reasons why you should do it this way. And then you go down that rabbit hole or this rabbit hole and it all branches off. But I digress. What prompted you to contact us? You said you found us somewhere and you just had heard about us. What made you want to get over here at DV Radio and hit us up?
Yeah, so I follow the Veterans Humor Facebook page, which I find hysterical. Thank you very much for providing that and enlightening my day.
No, thank you.
And I saw DV radio, and I kept thinking, you know, I could start a radio station or something like that. And I saw DV radio. I'm like, well, what's this? And I took a look at it, and I downloaded the podcast, and I was reading through the comments. Not the comments, exactly the description in the podcast. It's like, hey, we're looking for content. I'm like, well, let me reach out. You know, anything I can do to help out veterans or get some information out there, I'm looking to do. Like I said, I'm retired, so I don't do nothing but sit around all day and go to school. So I'm trying to put my time to good use and get my information out there. And I figured you guys would be a good way to help me promote my podcast. And then anything I could do to help you guys out, that would sound good as well.
Yeah, definitely. Oink and Frosty have listened to a few of your podcasts, and we were all just like, yeah, this guy, TV, radio, syndication, collaboration, originals, we got to get this guy on. You got the voice. That was the first thing we noticed. And you can talk. You can fucking talk to yourself. That we were like, yes, let's do it. We need it because we do 52 shows a fucking year on top of everything else we do, and we need this guy.
If I can't blind you with brilliance, I'll baffle you with bullshit. So
exactly.
I can usually sit down and talk fairly intelligently about just about any topic. And I can, I love listening to myself talk. So
right. Yeah, the misconception with having a lot of jobs is that it'll help you in your employment, and that's a huge misconception in today's society. 20 years ago, that did help you. That really did help you. The more jobs you had, the better off, or
Right.
the higher chance you had of getting hired, whether or not you had a college degree. And today, that's just not the case. Either you have to have a college degree and 58,000 years experience, or you have to have someone that is willing to vouch on their life for you to get into a job. And it's sad. It really is.
It's rough for veterans getting out. They say that most veterans, when they get out, average about 5 jobs before they figure out exactly what they want to do. You're going from a very structured environment to people that just don't know how to make decisions, don't know how to stay in their lane, and it's rough. I spent almost half my life in the military, and then I'm dealing with all these people. And even, CID was pretty laid back. I don't really want to call that military. We were pretty informal, but seeing how it is on the outside, and it's funny you talking like you're in prison. Oh, what are you going to do when you get out? What are you doing on the outside? But
You're
it's so
right, though.
strange.
Yeah, and it is. When I got out, everybody let me back up. When I got back from deployment, we all want to take a break. So we'll take from a week to maybe a month to gather our thoughts and quote unquote get back into life, right? We never get back into fucking life. I'll tell you that right now. I don't care who you are. If you've been deployed and you come back, you never get back into a quote unquote normal routine. You're always in that structured routine, that mentality. And that entire, I think it was a month, because I got married that not long after I got back to the ex-wife, and that was the biggest regret of my life. Anyway, I honestly did not know what I wanted to do. We started up a mom and pop shop, mechanic garage here, and then my Crohn's hit me, and it damn near killed me. But Walmart wouldn't hire me. They straight up would not hire me. A few reasons, but they were like, no, we don't need you, and they gave me some bullshit, off the wall script reading. But the guy basically told me, you've been deployed, we can't use you. And now all of a sudden, we want veterans. Like, go fuck yourself. You were getting hated on. But yeah, I completely get where you're coming from. Oink, Frosty, you guys have listened to some of his podcasts. What did you think about Kevin himself?
Well, like he already mentioned it, he's if he can't baffle you with brilliance or bullshit his way, that's a typical veteran right there. So,
exactly.
So to have
meetings.
Exactly. So when we were listening, like Bo mentioned, one of the first things that I recognized was the voice. I was like, he's definitely got the voice for it. And we started listening a little bit more, and it's like, man, he's talking about topics that are obviously relatable. They're pertinent. They're everything that we've been as a veteran, hopefully community has been trying to do is get information out to fellow veterans that don't know where to look. So, it was one of the first things, like I said, I recognized this was like, man, it's a go for me, when Bo was asking.
Yeah, I was kind of the same way. That voice just fit, and then listening to the podcast, it was. I think what I really liked about them is that they were kind of short and quick and able to. Hold on.
Well, alrighty then.
Los Anchorage.
Yeah. Well, last Anchorage, come on.
Poor Frosty's in the hood.
It sounds like there's a freeway outside this afternoon for some reason. But,
drag racing again,
something like that. But I like the fact that they were a little bit shorter podcasts. So they were perfect for the drive home. Kind of listen to it real quick and like, okay, that was cool. And then even the few that you weren't quite sure where you were going with them, you still ended up going somewhere. It was really kind of nice to listen to.
Yeah, if I've got people to talk to, they tend to go a little bit longer. I try and keep them at between a half hour and an hour. I figure that's a good commute time. So if you can't finish it on your way to work, maybe you can finish it on the way home. And then when it's just me ranting about something stupid, they're usually about 15, 20 minutes. I tend to run out of steam after I've made my point. So instead of repeating myself over and over, I try and just, wrap it up and call it good.
If you won't, enlighten our listeners about what some of your podcasts have had in them. I think you had a guest on one of them. Am I wrong?
Yes. So I started out speaking with a company called Patriots Path, and they're here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And what they do is they have like it's not a job placement service, but it's kind of a add-on to the transition assistance program that the Army makes you go through, where it's a 5-day workshop on how to transition your military experience to a civilian career. So they're doing great things here in the community. I also sat down with Honor the Warriors, and they sponsor a bicycle ride in Charlotte, North Carolina, that is specifically for disabled veterans. They actually take about 30 or 40 disabled veterans, and they bring them to Charlotte. And they've got recombinant bicycles, they've got trikes, they've got hand cycles. So even if you're not able to get out and about, you can still come to this bicycle ride, and they'll hook you up with something to ride. So if you've got balance issues from a TBI, they can put you on a trike. One of their guys actually lost both of his legs in an auto accident, and he competed in the national championships, and I think he said he came in 9th for his first time out.
Wow.
So he's out there on a hand cycle. So even if you're injured in the military or your mobility's not so good, there are ways to get out in the community and still stay physically active. And they found that that's a good way for veterans to connect with other veterans and just kind of stave off that depression that can set in if you're not out in your community.
Yeah, definitely.
I also had an individual, just my last one, he owns a CrossFit gym here in Charlotte, North Carolina, called CrossFit Axon. So if you can check them out, if you're in the Charlotte area, I'm sure he would appreciate it. And you can listen to my podcast if you want a little bit more details on how to get a hold of him. So I'm trying to promote small businesses. I've reached out to a guy who runs a Mediterranean food truck here in town. I'm trying to get him on. And then I'm going to trying to partner with an organization called Veterans Bridge Home, that they do exactly what it is I'm looking to do. They already consolidate a lot of veterans resources here in the Charlotte area. So I'm trying to get them on as well.
That's great. You and I talked about what DV's mission is, and you fit right into the puzzle piece. DV Radio is trying to grow into a network where all veterans can have all their shows and podcasts in one place. Obviously, if you've got your own podcast, you have that on your own platform, but where people can readily have it available. And not just that, resources for the VA, homelessness, financial aid, all of that, transitioning, stuff for caregivers, stuff for veterans' family members, everything. It's even hard for us, and all of us have been doing it for years. Some have been doing it for decades that work through DV and moderate, and it's still hard for us to find stuff, even though we know people on the inside.
Right.
The guy that helps me get my room built, his supervisor won't let him come on because they're dicks, and all he wants to do is help disabled veterans say, look, this is how you get you're such and such, and this is the way to go about doing it. And they're like, nope, you can't do that. And it's like, okay, you come on and do it. Nope, we don't allow that. Well, we're going to work around that. We're going to get somebody on here. I can assure you, I've already got that in the works. But that's what pisses me off. We're here for our veterans, and then when you want to make it available to them, oh, no, we can't do that. No, let's not do that. No, I don't play that game. I don't play that game at all. And if you try to force me to do it, I don't do it very well. What's that, Oink?
Well, I was just going to say, they act like it's all fucking secret squirrel information again, and it's bullshit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I can't stand that. I mean, we're not, fucking KGB, CIA back in fucking Cold War Russia. Stop the shit. Stop the pettiness. That's what it is. It's pettiness,
Yeah, one of the things I noticed when I interviewed the individual from Honor the Warriors is that the VA actually has a program where if you need a trike or a hand cycle, they will help you get one, but you have to show that you're going to use it. Mm-hmm. So you need to log so many hours on one before they'll help you get one. But how are you supposed to log hours on one if you don't have one?
Exactly.
So one of the things that Honor the Warriors does is they'll actually lease you a trike or a hand cycle for $1, and that way you can log your hours, and then they will help you go through the VA to get a cycle of your own.
That's sad. It's like right now I'm the quote-unquote state beta tester for the iPads for people that are homebound. I'm the only one in North Carolina that has one. I'm the only one. I've had this fucking iPad since 2017. I can count on one fucking hand how many meetings we've had, because every time we try to set up a meeting or an appointment, they wait for nearly 6 months to a year to say, okay, go ahead and do it. And that's not what it's for. It's for us to talk to our nurse practitioner, to our doctors, to our nurses on a case-by-case basis whenever the fuck we want to. And they're not allowing that, even though that's what it's for. It's like, you spent millions of dollars on these iPads and you're not putting them to use. And I think it's a great fucking concept, but they're not executing it at all. So that's another thing that I'm trying to work on. You guys think I do nothing but sit here on my ass, which is part of what I do. But between DV Farm, DV Radio, and my personal life, I'm actually trying to fucking push for you guys that are homebound. And I'm trying to get that, and I'm trying to move it over to our EMS workers and stuff of that nature. Even Oink reached out to Objective Zero, just to see how that was on their app, because we want to know how these things are working. We trust that they're working, but we want to see firsthand. And we do a lot, but people don't know it because we don't publicate it until we know for a fact that something's going to happen. Speaking of Charlie and Mike podcast, where can people find and listen to you at? I know you're on Facebook. Where else are you at where they can actually listen to the podcast?
Yeah, you can access the podcast pretty much anywhere that you get your regular podcasts. I'm on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud. So if you've got a preferred platform that you get your podcast from, I should be there. Just search Charlie Mike Podcast, and you see a little silhouette of a gunner with the Charlie Mike Podcast over it, and that's the one. I'd really appreciate it if everybody could listen. Subscribe if you like what you're hearing. Subscribe if you don't like what you're hearing. It'll help me out anyway.
Yeah, right. It's free. It doesn't cost them anything.
There you go. Yeah. Just subscribe. Don't listen to it. Just, let it run in the background, and I can pretend that I have a lot of listeners.
Right. Just to give everybody a little more access to it, you and I were talking, we're actually going to start syndicating the Charlie Mike podcast here on DV Radio in a couple weeks, correct?
Yes, that is correct. We'll host it here first, and then you'll be able to get it on your podcast platform after it airs here on DV Radio.
Yeah, and like I said, we don't care if we make money off of this, obviously, because I would not have been doing this for the past 5 years. I could be making $60,000+ a fucking year doing what I fucking do if I really wanted to fucking make money. Don't think I give a shit about money, even though I need it really, really fucking bad. I've had a lot of people say, how much does it cost to syndicate? Right now, nothing. Honestly, right now, nothing. If we ever did ask for money, we would be like, okay, give us $5. It wouldn't be like, give us $10,000 and you can have this many days of the week. It wouldn't be anything astronomical or anything. It would just help us to pay for bills and stuff like that. A lot of people have told me you need to get people to pay for their syndication time and all. Yeah, probably, but that's not what I'm about. We have these sponsors, we have Patreon, we have the donators. Even if those were to go away tomorrow, I probably still wouldn't ask any syndicated show to give me any of their money because they're just like me. They're human beings. They have struggles. They probably can't afford it. That's probably why they're on Podbean or the cheapest fucking platform they can find out there. So yeah, money isn't what we care about. It's not free for us to provide for you, but it's free for you to listen. That's why we ask, if you can, please donate. We have the PayPal donation button on dvradio.net. We have patreon.com/dvradio. You can start out paying $1. If that's all you can afford, you can go all the way up to a couple $100 if you're a business and you want to pay for a sponsorship, but you don't have a shit ton of money to pay for. A lot comes with those two packages, so it's great. You can also get about 15% off of the 5 pounds of coffee Battlegrounds blend of DV Radios from Ubor Coffee if you go to Patreon and click on the 5 pounds of darkness tier. If you'd rather actually pay the full price, just go to uborcoffee.com. But only the Battlegrounds bag is what gives us money. Nothing outside of that gives us any kickback. Nobody's bought any in a while. I don't know why. Nobody's given me any feedback if it's too much in cost or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, that's...
I'm just not going to go anywhere else for coffee. I can tell you that much.
Honestly, I can't go anywhere else because it's that damn good, and I don't have that fucking aftertaste. That's one thing that's always killed me about coffees is that fucking aftertaste. I love coffee, but that aftertaste has always killed me. I don't care where the fuck I've gotten it from, who has made it, even some stuff I had in Europe and Iraq and Kuwait and California, Mississippi, and Mexico. I hate it. I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. And then these guys make this. I don't know what the fuck they do when they roast their coffee, but I have never had any aftertaste whatsoever.
No, and like I said, I've never experienced coffee that's tasted this fresh. Mm-hmm. You know, because you never know how long the shit's sitting on the shelf at the stores.
Exactly.
And of course, up here in Alaska, how long it took to get on the damn barge to get up here. So,
right.
Yeah, I placed an order there for the coffee, and believe it or not, within 3 to 5 days, it's here in Alaska. So, you know damn well that's fresh. You can't beat
it. It is honestly, I swear to you, I will swear on DV Radio and my life, that is the freshest coffee you can have delivered to your doorstep without having to go down to your barista and pay $5 a cup every morning, or to your local Starbucks and pay $15 for a small cup of what they call black coffee, which is basically piss in a bottle. This is the freshest coffee you can honestly get, and everybody complains about the price. Look at what you're paying every month for that stuff that's been sitting on the shelf, loaded with chemicals, to let it sit there longer on your fucking shelf. I'm telling you, it's a completely different taste.
I'm not a big organic type of fan per se when I walk into the produce aisles there at the supermarket, because the prices are astronomical. So that part of it I wasn't even thrilled about per se about the coffee, but they are organic, and it must make a difference, because I'm not going to lie to you, it's the freshest. It's like you said, no aftertaste, and so.
And that's one of the things that Philip talked about when he was on here with us, talking about Ubor Coffee and the way they roast their coffees. The chemicals is a lot of why you get the aftertaste from coffee beans. It's not the coffee beans themselves, and although some coffee beans do have an aftertaste, the chemicals is what gives you that aftertaste 9 times out of 10. So, Marquis, are you there, brother? Whoa, that sounded like a fucking robot coming in.
Transformers.
Marquis in disguise. Before we get too convoluted in what we're talking about here, Marquis, you talked about the impeachment process tonight on your show. Without giving too much away about what's in your show, tell us about what you talked about and anything that people might have missed, or you want to go in depth a little bit.
Give too much away. I practically just read the Wikipedia page to see if anybody was paying attention. Oh, no. So The show is, everybody's all like, oh, impeachment. Oh, it's so crazy. Oh, what's going on? Oh, it's BS. That the letter was BS, stuff like that. And I'm like, listen, guys, okay? This is the process is in its entirety, okay? It's not that hard. It's very simply put and worded. The House has the right. They could impeach Trump on anything they want to. They could have done it with Obama. Any president can be impeached on any number of things because of the wording of the Constitution. That's pretty much what the first 20-something minutes of the show was. Hey, this is the historical aspect. This is why the House has done it. We're not covering, exactly why it was done, but we're covering, why they did it, how they did it, what caused them to do it, and stuff like that. And towards the end of the show, that's when I give you my opinion on the whole impeachment of Donald Trump.
Well, how dare you use facts, Marquis? What the hell is wrong with you?
You know what? Yes. Okay, Oink. So the other day, I put up a little, picture of the, Marquis Dirty 30 at this time, and I just put up there in quotations pretty much. Historically, what happens after an impeachment process is the presidential political party, they do not win re-election. This happened with Johnson and Grant. Johnson ran for re-election. He didn't win. Okay. Richard Nixon, when he resigned, it became Gerald Ford. Gerald Ford lost to Carter. Okay. Clinton, when Clinton won his impeachment process, Al Gore was next in line. He was the presidential candidate. He lost to Bush. So all I was saying was historically, this is what happened. You just pandering to everybody now. You're just saying stuff because it's just look good. I'm like, dude, stop. I'm giving you what the historical perspective is. I'm not trying to sit here and tell you that the 2020 election is going to be lost or won because of this impeachment. Now, it probably will be lost because the American public viewpoints turns from what I've been reading on a presidential candidate or president after an impeachment process. It happened with Clinton. Even though his job performance numbers were high, his what do they call it? His personal numbers with the people of the United States was very low, the lowest of his career as president after the impeachment. So that's all I was saying. Freaking idiots.
But they wanted to argue, didn't they?
Yeah.
Well, the good, bad, whatever you want to call it, the thing that I have seen since this impeachment has started with Trump is that his numbers have actually increased as opposed to decreased.
Do not believe any poll you ever see put up by anybody.
I didn't have to look at a poll.
You question these people?
I don't question. I know, but really, his numbers have actually increased because when they watch these Democratic debates and they're shooting themselves in the foot saying one thing, and then they get up in the middle of these fucking C-SPAN fucking hearings and they're saying another and putting words in people's mouths and outright fucking lying. They're like, wait, what? What? Wait, what? We've been lied to? What? They've been lying to us. Like,
it's politics. I'm going to tell you, what's going to happen is this process is going to go to the Senate. They're going to have all these question and answer moments. And this is when the Democrats are going to use every single person that they can bring forward to bring anything negative to light that has been in the White House. Yeah. That's what's going to happen. Then they're just going to be like, oh, okay, we can't get the 2/3 majority vote. He stays in office. When 2020 happens, they're going to use all of these interviews and question and answer sessions as fodder to the media to push out.
Yeah, they honestly don't have a leg to stand on, but at the same time, we've seen what they can do as far as power when they want to get rid of somebody.
One more thing, Bo, before we move on here, okay?
Yeah, no, I'm not moving on.
I've been reading a lot about the whole entire impeachment process, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, when the whistleblower happened at Watergate, Deep Throat, okay? Mm-hmm. Everyone at the time, everyone who supported Nixon said it was a lie.
Yeah.
Everyone said it was being made up. Everyone said there was no validity to it, that they didn't have a leg to stand on. So what I've been saying is let's wait to pass judgment on this initial process to see what is out there. That's what we did with Clinton.
Well,
we waited to pass initial judgment.
what they're trying to impeach him for now is the Ukraine thing, and it's already been proven that that was an outright lie. But they're still trying to push for it. That's the one I'm talking about right now. If there's been one since then, I don't fucking know because I hate watching the news. I fucking despise it unless it's the weather, and even then, I'm not fucking happy. But that's the one.
And see, but also in the Dirty 30, we talk about the clause where the Constitution states that, where they can pretty much high crimes and misdemeanors is the key phrase there in the article. That talks about, impeachment, high crimes and misdemeanors. So what they did with Nixon was high crimes and misdemeanors were abuse of power was one of the things that they charged him with. And so this is one. I mean, I'm telling you people, I'm just using facts. I could care less if Trump's president or not. I mean, I'm still broke,
right.
So it doesn't bother me. And so, I'm just trying to inform people that, you have to realize that there are a lot of political maneuvering going on behind the scenes that we know nothing about.
Yeah.
And so this could be an episode where the Republicans are like, yeah, we don't like the way Donald Trump has transformed the Republican Party. Understand? So yeah, we're going to vote to kick him out and get Mike Pence, who's the Republican that we like, to be in office.
Yeah. I mean, you're completely right. As far as impeaching him on the Ukraine thing, though, that's what I was talking about.
But what I'm saying though is that they can bring more things to light from just this Ukraine issue.
Oh,
that's
sure
the thing. They have a catalyst now to launch them to find out more information that they've been wanting for the longest.
Well, you also have to take into consideration we spent the last 3 years and spent over $40 million and investigated the same thing, 4 different times because it did happen and all the evidence says it didn't happen.
Oh,
so
I'm sorry, Bo. I got one more thing.
Yeah,
also in the Dirty 30, I go over how they went from using the Mueller report, right? Was a investigative tactic that was used with Clinton during his impeachment process. Okay. They're going the Nixon route where they already have the information given to them and they're just going to expedite this fast as hell so that it's fresh in people's mind. And that way it won't take 7 to 8 months. I'm telling you, dude, I understand the political maneuvering and backstabbing to the fullest, and I love it. That's why when I found out they were actually going to impeach Trump, I jumped for joy. And it wasn't because of Trump, it was because of the process. I love it when the Constitution is actually utilized the way it's meant to be. Okay? Even though the situation is stupid, maybe fake, maybe false, and nothing's going to happen of it. But for me to see the actual maneuvering of the political process that our founding fathers set up is exciting to me. I'm a political enthusiast. I love it. And my wife thinks I'm crazy. Everyone that I tell that to thinks I'm crazy because I love politics.
Well, here's a question for you, Marky, to ponder on. Do you think this is going to actually backfire against the Democrats if the Senate gets a hold of it and they can call any and all witnesses?
See, it could, but I have this theory on what the Democrats are doing for the 2020 election that I don't like, but I know what's happening because I see it here in Atlanta, where they're moving certain people to certain locations, which is illegal, but you can see it happening. We have a larger Democratic growth in certain areas of Atlanta, okay? But by them calling any and everybody, right, it might help them, it might hurt them, because the Senate is controlled by the Republicans, so they can ask any question they want to, but that's from both sides. So you're going to get these people asking these asinine questions on top of asinine questions. It's going to be at least a 3 or 4 month process, even though Nancy Pelosi told them to expedite it today. They're coming back a week early, I believe. I don't think it's going to backfire. I think we're going to see the same numbers we saw during the 2016 election, depending on who the candidate is. Remember, Oink, I told you, look at the Carter versus Ford election.
Yep.
You didn't have a candidate you really wanted to vote for on either side, but
it seriously was a coin toss. And you were hoping it'd stand on its end.
Yep.
Yeah, just between the Electoral College and impeachment process and districts and this and that, and oh my God, we don't live in a democracy, even though we've been told we live in a democracy. I don't care what anybody says.
It's a democratic republic. I've been saying that forever.
I know, but nobody wants to hear it. We've talked about these things in depth before here with you, Marquis, a couple years ago. But again, it's the same routine every few years, every few presidents. We have the same shit happening over and over.
Can I be blunt here for a second?
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Finish him. See, this is what has been bothering me for the longest. Many Americans are independent thinkers. We're not strictly Republican. We're not strictly Democrat. We look at issues and what affects us personally, right? So when you come onto the DV Marquee page or my personal Facebook page and you just automatically assume that I am pushing a Democratic agenda, you, my friend, are wrong. Okay. I hate any type of government that forms around communist ideas, socialist ideas, dictator ideas, because guess what? You don't have that freedom. Even in a socialist society, you do not have that freedom. I can't make a choice of, hey, sir, would you like to donate $1 today? No, I don't. Instead, in a social society, hey, sir, you're going to donate $1 today for this charity. You know, and that's what these modern Democrats are pushing. Now, I read a story the other day that was talking about how AOC or whatever her name is forcing Nancy Pelosi to do this. You have to understand that Nancy Pelosi has been in politics for well over 30 years. She knows the fucking system. I cursed there. I apologize. She knows the system. Okay. She didn't become Speaker of the House just by being there the longest. She became Speaker of the House because she knows the system. Okay. President Trump understood what the people of America wanted. So guess what President Trump did? He won the election. People were like, what? How? Why? Because Hillary Clinton was just saying things to make people like her. Whereas President Trump was saying things that was actually felt by the American people. So if you want to know my stance on something, look at the fucking part where it's in the middle. Gun control. I'm not for gun control. It's stupid. All right. But feeding poor homeless babies, yes, I'm for that. Go ahead, Bo. I'm done.
I had to. That was the Marquee rant here on Barretts Talk, everybody. That was. Oh my God, I'm crying.
Having a moment.
Oh my God, hold on a minute. I gotta get some tissue. Oh, that was
it's beautiful. Just asinine how you go on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any social media place, and they're just all like, kick him out. Why would you want to do that? Because oh my God, it's about to be another one. I'm sorry, Bo. Go ahead.
Well, you've seen it. You've seen it on my page, Marquis. I have begged people to tell me why. Why do you want to get rid of him? He's racist. He's a piece of shit. He fucked up my health care. He raised my taxes. He literally done none of that. He helped every bit of it.
Everybody just spews talking points that they see on Fox News or MSNBC or CNN or some meme somewhere, but they don't actually go and research the facts. You have a computer in your hand with a search bar that can search any topic in the world, but yet until you refuse to find the facts. You want to sit there and spew opinion to me. Your opinion does not matter to me. I do not care about your opinion. I care about the facts. If you do not give me historical facts or current facts, then you're just talking out your ass. And I can't stand that.
That I swear to God, it reminds me of that guy that was on your post that night that I just kept riling up.
Okay, so that guy is a cis male, which I don't know what the hell a cis male is. And he calls me a transphobe every time I post something about transgender people. It's funny. Transgenders have been around since the Roman days. Who cares? You know, like it's 2019, people. Let's move past that 1960s mentality and that way of thinking where gays are bad and all the gays have AIDS, as in the 1980s, folks. You know, they have a pill now that can like prevent AIDS from HIV from transferring. Like it suppresses the virus to a point where it's not even detectable.
Oh my God!
Yes, we know. We see it on what was AMC that airs that commercial like every other commercial.
the people ask why we have Marquee on here. This is why. This is fucking why. If you don't like it, turn it off and go somewhere else, you motherfuckers.
Dude, no, I'm just like so confused with our society nowadays, man. We sent people to the moon on 4 megabytes of RAM.
Yep.
Right now at my computer, I have freaking a terabyte hard drive right here. Terabyte. That means I can send somebody to the moon if I fucking want to, 6 or 7 times if I can figure it out. But yet and still, we have so many stupid people here in the world for no reason.
Yep.
You literally have everything you want in your hand, but you're too dumb to even research it.
It's not.
How can you follow along political lines strictly to the T and say, well, since he's a Republican, he's my president? Cool. I'm a Democrat, he's not my president. Fine. But you're an idiot because if you impeach President Trump and you kick him out of office, you have now just demoralized the rest of the world. And that office does not have the power that we once had.
You know what I wish I was able to do? In 40 years, I hope that I'm here to see the day that kids are like, you know, back in the day when Trump was president, they were really mean to him. He done a lot for this country. Because that's what's going to happen. That is exactly what's going to happen. It happened to the monarchies that people hated then, and now we're saying they were so fucking great. And if you look at history and you read the diaries, people hated them. But in reality, they were doing exactly what Trump is doing, and they're only helping society. And you're just, like he said, you're demoralizing it if you fuck them up. That's the best and simplest way I can put it. And they're not dumb, Marky. They're lazy. Some of them are dumb. They're flat out retards. Not even gonna lie. If you don't like that word, fuck you again. I'm not here for your feelings.
I mean, the bottom half of Bo was retarded, so
more than.
he can say that word,
right? I'm disabled. I can use the R word, the retard word. But yeah. I'm like you. I'm dumbfounded at the way that nobody uses libraries. Nobody uses the technology that's readily available. You have seen it, Marky, on my post that I make. People argue with me, and all they do is regurgitate what they see in media. And that's our problem, media.
You know what? I had a Facebook message exchange with a guy who runs a business, and he was like, man, me and my partner would love to endorse your show and have you do this and that for us, but you lean a little bit to the, what is it, left? Which one's Democrats?
I don't fucking know.
The left. Okay, he said you lean a little bit too far to the left. I said, what the hell do you mean? And he was like, well, you know, you kind of like, you know, had a post about abortion and you said that, you know, it's okay for a woman to have an abortion. I said, dude, who gives two flying craps what a woman does with her body? All right. You watch pornos and you don't care about those ladies. But yet and still, when a girl who gets pregnant by accident and wants to go to college, you know, or do something else, you're up in arms about it. Worry about your own body, guy. Yeah. Not that. And then we stopped talking after that. So
I've had some of the same exchanges with people that are like, yeah, we'd love to sponsor you, but aside from our colorful language, they don't like a lot of our viewpoints. And I'm like, I'm not going to cater to your fucking viewpoints. Again, who the fuck cares? It's our opinion. We give facts, but we talk about our opinions. That's it. Is it.
Oink is a pig who eats bacon.
Right?
That's right.
What? You know, like, what the hell is going on here?
Oh, shit. But yeah, this week we have Media Litter Sandwich and the Security Sex Podcast. They're all new. Monday, Security Sex Podcast is airing at 17:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Matthew is an Air Force vet who finished off his 4 years and moved on to federal agencies such as the CIA, and then to private contracting and moving to Abu Dhabi, where he met his wife, had a few children, and moved back to the U.S., where he found another job working in a federal agency. He is close to retirement and starting his own security consulting business. All you have to do to hear his story is tune in Monday at 17:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Security Sucks podcast. Following that on Tuesday is Media Litter Sandwich at 19:07 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This week on Media Litter Sandwich, audio engineer and musician Logan Law explains to Toden about the Detroit music scene and what exactly lo-fi music really is. Logan talks about starting drumming when he was 10 and being in a band with Kid Rock's son. Yes, you heard right, Kid Rock's son. Logan Law currently has over 10,000 listeners on Spotify, so he can't be that bad. Again, that's Media Litter Sandwich right here on Tuesday at 19:07 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All of those happen here on DV Radio. And Marky left. Either his internet gave out or he was that embroiled I'm not sure which right now. I guess we'll find out later. Kevin, how's your experience been so far here on Barretts Talk?
Oh, it's great. I'm having a grand old time.
Hey, man,
Yeah.
don't feel like you're butting in at any time. If you want to say something, go right ahead. We brought you on as a guest host tonight, so your word is as good as anybody else's here, and you're always welcome here on Barretts Talk.
Well, it was hard to get a little word in edgewise with Marquis there. He was pretty heated.
That's one thing we love about him.
Yeah, I love it. It's great. Put your opinion out there by all means. But
Right.
One of my podcasts actually was called "The Media Is Not Your Friend," where I addressed all of these issues. One thing I've noticed is that people just don't read past the headlines anymore. They read a headline and they're impeaching Trump. No, an impeachment inquiry has begun. Then they're going to decide whether or not they impeach Trump.
Yep.
So right now it's just an investigation to investigate everything we investigated already.
Exactly.
So,
like I said, we spent over $40 million over the last 3 years investigating something that we're going to spend another $25-40 million on to investigate even further, just so we can say, oh, fuck.
Yeah, well, the first page of the Mueller report says there's no collusion.
Yeah.
The first page. Here's the bottom line.
On all of them.
And the funny thing is, they didn't prove that he didn't. Well, you can't prove a negative, shithead.
Exactly.
You can't prove a negative.
Thank you. I'll tell you what, we need to go to break. On the other side of the break, we have Junk That's in the News. Google is supposed to be joining us at 10:30. I don't know if she's going to make it. It's 10:25 now. But you are listening to Barretts Talk here on dvradio.net. We'll be back again with Junk That's in the News on the other side.
And the next episode of Media Litter Sandwich.
And I was in a band with Kid Rock's son for a little while. He's still out there making music. His name is Robert James, if you want to check him out. He's doing more like pop stuff. Yeah, I mean, when we were a band, we were terrible. Dude, we sucked. We were terrible. So, yeah, looking back, it's really funny. But,
Yeah, it's well, at least we're not the worst type of music to come out of that house.
You're listening to Barretts Talk on dvradio.net.
Back on the air.
DV Radio.
Yes, we're back on the air. Junk in the News is going to happen tonight. We wanted to give Google a couple of extra minutes to get in and get settled. We've not heard back from her yet. We were hoping she would be here because Frosty has a shit ton of background noise. Oink is busy talking to one of our guests that's supposed to be coming on here and the music therapy hour soon. So we're at a fucking loss right now because, again, we're left in the dark.
We're so unprofessional professionals.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. But yes, Marquis got kicked out. We don't know why, but he's back now. So he's here with us.
Hey,
Marquis,
everybody.
Kevin actually said he liked the content. So.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. That was great. I love it.
Hey, if you didn't know, Kevin, I used to teach radio broadcasting here in Atlanta, but, that's a different story for a different day.
In the break, you heard the Media Litter Sandwich teaser. The background music is actually from Mr. Logan Law himself. He allowed us to use his music here on the station. I hit him up. I'll let him know that we were using it for the teaser. Just so everybody knows, I'm letting you know right now. So if he has a problem with it, he'll tell me and I'll take it out. But he did tell Toden that we could use his music, and hopefully we can get some of the songs here in rotation. It's more of an underground techno vibe. Think of your cyberpunk songs. I love some of those things. So if you're into that kind of thing, that is some music to check out. I don't think Google is ready yet. Oh, now she's up. As soon as I say that, she messages saying she's up. So we'll bring her in here. Where the fuck is she? There she is. What she gets in here, we'll do the junk in the news intro, and then we'll go right into junk in the news.
Can you explain what cyberpunk is to me? They're talking about like computers and like punk rock.
Cyberpunk is basically into the future when we rely solely on technology, human implants and stuff of that nature. I would go into detail, but that would take from our junk that's in the news, which is getting ready to begin right now after this intro.
You big dummy.
And now it's time to find out what stupid junk is in the news.
Sorry, I was muted. I forgot. I know. I'm like not with it. Okay.
Well, the funny thing is, you said you'd be here at 10:30. Give you 2 minutes to go get everything ready, and we gave you 6.5 minutes. Just so you know.
Yeah, I know. I was running around like crazy. I apologize.
It's okay. You're here now.
That sometimes happens though. So it's because I had to take a shit. All right, I'll say it. Oh, well, that's a perfect lead-in to my first story. See how that happens. There we go. First story of the evening. Women poop sometimes at work. Get over it.
Oh my God.
This is like an opinion piece. It's basically saying that poop shame is real. So it starts with, there once was a woman who walked regularly from her office in Midtown Manhattan to a hotel across the street in order to use the restroom. And that woman may have been one of us. That woman had a friend at another office job who carried a book of matches and a can of air freshener in her purse, more willing to set off the fire alarm than leave any hint of odor in a public lavatory. That friend had another friend at another office job who repeatedly forced her body to do the deed so quickly, racing from cubicle to bathroom and back in an effort to deflect attention from what she might be doing in there, that it led to a semi-serious hemorrhoid problem. Really, people? Come on.
I have a feeling you almost said pubicle instead of cubicle.
The gist of the story is that women take shits just like guys, but apparently we're embarrassed about the smell because the men in our offices might be weirded out or grossed out. I'm like, when was the last time a man went into... Never mind, I can't even say that. Considering. Oh, man.
Hey, Google.
So there you go. So
she ain't even going to recognize Marquis. Oh, god damn.
I said hi.
It's fine. I'm just going to... Just going to hold my commentary back on this woman shaming of 1943.
It's not woman shaming. It's women who are ashamed that they fucking take a shit.
And
they don't want it. They're too afraid to do it at work, so they go other places.
But it came from woman shaming of people going to the bathroom. That's where he's getting at there.
It's just so stupid.
Well, I agree.
I read this book once that said everybody poops.
Oh, that was a children's book. You didn't know?
Yeah.
Everybody poops except for women in public places. That's what the title should be called.
Well, you remember when you were a kid, women aren't supposed to fart. Women aren't supposed to poop. Girls are nasty if they do.
Exactly.
Well, that's
which is actually what...
My wife, a quick story, real quick. My wife, for the first 9 years of us being married, actually came and told me that she, I don't like to fart in front of you. I don't think it's right. I said, woman, I have seen your vagina spread the size of 2 football fields to push children. Okay.
Oh,
I have literally seen you pooping while giving birth to our youngest daughter. Do you think I care if you fart around me?
Oh my God.
Oh, that's great. Oh my God. Well, the author of Poop Happened, A History of the World from the Bottom Up, Sarah Albee, she said, if a boy farts, everyone laughs, including the boy. If a girl farts, she is mortified.
She's mortified because we've made it a mortification of women.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And let's be real here. If it's a cute girl, we're mortified. If it's a girl who looks like me, we're kind of like,
Damn, she got some power behind that. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Well, that's like burping. It's like I burp louder than Six does, and sometimes I'm like, oh man, I can't believe I just burped that loud. And he's like, yeah, that's my wife. I'm like, holy shit.
We call burps mouth farts in my house.
Oh my God. I feel like we just went into the adult version of Shrek. Next thing you know, we're going to be like, you know where Two Girls, One Cup came from, right?
Oh man. It's so funny. Too funny. So there's your poop shame story.
Wait. One of the listeners was like, he really just said it. Football fields. Oh, fuck.
That's funny.
So if you don't hear Marquis on next week's show, you know that he is in a ditch somewhere because, well, his wife filed for divorce and he's no longer on this earth.
I'm sorry, people. If you've never witnessed a woman giving birth, you are missing out on something special. That sucker stretches wider than anything I've ever seen in my life. And then the baby just falls straight out. It's crazy.
There's some stuff that I want to say right now, but people are going to be like, that is wrong. He should not have said that. So I'm
6 months later, when you and everything tightens back up, it's the most wonderful place in the world to be. But for those 20, 30 to an hour moments, it's kind of like, oh my God.
This is what goes through Marquis' mind when he sees a woman giving birth. Okay,
yeah,
now back to
it's like a full-grown killer whale coming out of that thing.
Fucking orca.
Too funny. Too funny.
I would say sperm whale, but it's coming out, so. Mark,
Yo,
got it.
I just laughed so hard. I'm sorry. I'm muting.
Welcome to DV Radio, Kevin. How's your experience so far?
I'm having a great time. This is great.
Oh my God.
You're tuned in to dvradio.net, where the professional unprofessionals have taken over all online radio.
Right? Okay, so moving right along. Some say this is satire, some say it is not, and there is a Snopes fact check floating around about this story. Teen masturbated 56 times straight before dying of a heart attack. Now, what's crazy is that this could be real.
Could be, but
this particular one is not. Teenager allegedly masturbated a jaw-dropping 56 times nonstop before dying of a heart attack. In the process, even breaking the world record, and was awarded a world record certificate by a Guinness representative who later arrived at the home. Did that representative arrive before or after the kid was dead?
They've never, ever been in my bedroom when I was 16. Because 53 times is not a world record.
For a world record, it has to be witnessed with somebody sitting there with a little counter going 1, 2,
yeah, right?
3.
And then how fast is he doing this act? Because if you are doing it this fast, you're never going to please a woman in your entire life with that penis. I promise you that much.
No. Because on average, for a human being to masturbate, it takes 2.5 to 3 minutes. If you've done that in 56 times in one day, dude,
It takes a man
woman.
30 minutes to reset.
That's what I'm saying. Like, holy fucking Christ. That's why
Now-
I feel sorry for you if you've done that many times in one day.
Now, there are other headlines, such as theboxhouston.com has a headline of Brazilian teenager dies after masturbating 42 times. Someone else
Teenage challenge. Is this what we're looking at now?
Someone else has a headline that reads, man dies after masturbating 62 times in a
Rookie.
row.
Rookie.
Those are rookie numbers. You got to pump those numbers.
You got to get them up there.
That's
Pump
what
them
she
numbers
said.
out.
Oh, man. And one person that commented on this particular article did ask, and just who was there counting?
Well, I want to know what their protein supplement is like.
But I'm choom.
Well, we can't ask him because apparently he's dead.
Like I'm more upset for his mother have to clean those crusty socks everywhere.
Dude, Kleenex just got their fucking founding sponsor right there.
Let's see. Someone else commented
Kleenex and
with
Jergens.
someone else commented with this all sounds like satire, something you'd read in The Onion. So someone responded to him saying, it sounds like it because it is.
The best part is they're on a satire fucking news site that literally says a satirical fucking comedy team. You didn't.
I know.
What?
I know.
You know what? Tomorrow, starting at 12 noon, I will be live streaming my attempt to break this record.
I don't think you'll do it. I don't think you got a hair on your ass.
Oh my God. That's great.
I'll just use Jergens, the best lotion ever made.
So there you go.
That's like a couple of years ago. A couple of years ago, I posted, I will be live streaming today. The pee will be great. People actually thought I meant like actually live stream. I was like, do you not get the fucking joke within the goddamn, I'm going to be pissing here in a minute. Like, really?
Oh my gosh.
All right, moving right along. That was your satire story of the evening. Good news. Mattel just launched a gender inclusive doll line. So the Barbie dolls will now be gender neutral.
And this is real, correct?
Yes.
Okay, just want everybody to know.
So they already have Barbie, Skipper, and Ken.
Here
I'm
comes
sure they
my
have
tea.
others also, but they can't call this one Barbie. I do wonder what they're going to call it, but the doll kits offer both feminine and masculine presenting options for hair, clothes, and accessories.
Yeah, that fucking blonde-headed one looks so manly-ish and womanish. Either. Yeah,
Have they never seen a Barbie to begin with? They have no genitals. They just have breasts or chest.
Right?
Breast or chest.
I was about to say they have no penis, they have no vagina, they have ass, breast, and or chest.
Right. But, you know.
What, you're going to have a Barbie that's manly in the face and have boobs? I mean, what are we doing here?
I mean,
Mattel launched a line of gender-inclusive dolls Wednesday called Creatable World. The line's premise is all about customization of hair, clothes, and accessories, creating a toy that isn't dictated by gender norms. Some options are more feminine presenting, while others are more masculine presenting, which allows kids to combine the elements any way they want to.
Well, you know, this is nothing more than, hey, we can make money off of gender-neutral toys. That's all they're doing. That's exactly what the fuck they're doing. And there's enough people out there that's dumb enough to pay the $30 for one of these fucking doll kits, because that's how much they're going to retail for.
I know, right? The idea for the line comes from concern from both parents and children about the gender of toys.
She said the magic words.
The gender of their toys.
Concern. Fucking parents' concern. Yeah,
Well,
you're concerned that we don't have gender neutral fucking toys, but you're not concerned that your child is, I don't know, outside huffing and puffing on a fucking can of spray. Like,
right?
fucking go fuck yourself.
Can I just say something real quick here? as parents, okay, if you're a parent out there and you have young children, stop imposing your ideology onto the children. This happened back in the 60s when we had racists imposing their ideology on kids and making them go to school and be racist or in the street. And now we're doing it with kids who don't even know what their penis is supposed to do except for just pee. And we're saying, oh, well, are you a cis male or a cis woman? He doesn't freaking care. He's a boy who wants to go play with dogs, or go play in the mud. He doesn't care.
Last week he was a velociraptor.
Exactly.
Well, these kits, there are 6 in all of them, available in a variety of skin tones. So that means 6 different skin tones. And each kit has 1 doll, 2 hairstyle options, 1 longer and 1 shorter, and varying clothes. I'm sorry, but I would want more than just 2 hairstyle options.
Well, you can be either or.
Shit, so would I, but I'm fucking bald.
That's what I'm saying. This is nothing more than a quote unquote propaganda money making scheme. They put two different hairstyles in there. What does that tell you? Barbie, Mattel, believes that there's only 2 fucking genders in the entire fucking goddamn world.
Woohoo! Well, I'll be waiting for a gender neutral G.I. Joe. Just wondering what you guys thought. But hey, whatevs.
I mean,
well, they already got one. It was called Bird Doll. Or where's that Manning? Oh, fuck, I don't know.
As R.I. Dreams just mentioned and made us aware, because none of us mentioned it, everyone knows Barbie came with G.I. Joe and faked it with Ken.
Oh, boy. Okay, well then, final story of the evening. I know it was a short week, but lots of news happened. Just
short week, my ass.
Insane.
No, you know what? I didn't even get to read this story because fucking Washington Post is like, we noticed you're not using the normal browser. Try us for 1 month for $1. Go fuck yourself, Washington Post.
What normal browser?
Because I may have something on here that I probably shouldn't have.
Gotcha.
Are you using NetSpin?
What?
Netscape?
What?
Are you using Netscape?
Dude, that was Windows 95 with the fucking lighthouse as the icon.
That was like Windows 93. Are you using Netscape and AOL dial-up? What are you using, Bo?
Oh,
everybody, please donate to the Patreon. He needs money.
I wish I could fucking use AOL still. That was better than fucking Yahoo Messenger. Fucking
please.
Oh man.
Listen to the eyes of us.
All right, let's do this final story. Woman bites. It says creature, but no, not really. Woman bites camel in his private area at truck stop zoo.
Do you realize that this is a big problem?
1, why the fuck is there a zoo at a truck stop?
They have a whole category for this on Pornhub. What's the problem?
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
How you doing?
Oh man.
Want to hang out?
I'm not even sure how to pronounce
by the hour.
I'm not sure how to pronounce the city name, but yeah, we'll get to that. Casper the camel was minding his own business inside his enclosure at the Tiger Truck Stop Petting Zoo in Grosse Tete, Louisiana, when suddenly a pair of unwanted visitors commanded his attention. Like I said, I don't know how to say this city name.
Grosse Tete.
Well, there you go. Casper is the largest resident at the zoo and is accustomed to having visitors all day as truckers pull off I-10 west of Baton Rouge. This pair of visitors, however, was slightly different. They broke into Casper's pen, causing the 600-pound white camel to panic and a Mad Lib-style series of unfortunate events to unfold, as authorities would explain on Sunday. It's crazy. There is security footage of this occurrence.
Do you see why she went into the enclosure? Because
No.
I'm reading it on a NY Post, and it says the couple followed after their dog, but the woman didn't get very far before Casper took a seat on top of her, crushing her, because they were feeding their dog dog treats under Casper's fence. And then the pup decided to go inside the fucking enclosure.
And that's when she, oh my God.
Yeah, that's when she went inside and all that happened.
She went inside, and the man started swatting at Casper, trying to push him out of the way while the woman bent down to pick up her pet. That's when it happened. To defend himself, the camel sat on her, authorities told the advocate. Trapped beneath the camel, the woman apparently did the only thing that made sense in the moment. She bit his fucking testicles.
Well, that'll get you to move.
Does it tell you what she said?
She said,
I'll never get that taste out of my mouth.
It says Bossier, I guess the owner, said, I might feel kind of funny saying this on TV, but she actually bit him in his private area. That's about as nice as I could put it. But Hamilton was blunter. She said, I bit his testicles to get him off me, as she explained.
Well, this article says, I bit his balls to get him off of me. I bit his testicles to get him off of me.
Yeah, she probably said I bit his balls, but yeah. And Six just turned around like, well, we're talking about a camel and a lady.
You know, like you do.
I can only imagine. Would you like one hump or two humps?
Oh, man.
You know, I've heard of spanking your monkey and choking your chicken, but never biting a camel.
Maybe it's toes.
Maybe it's toes.
You're just doing it wrong, Oink.
Maybe.
Maybe there's a book you could read.
Oh, man.
This year
in there's on Pornhub somewhere. Marquise him in that link.
Oh, gotcha.
The owner of the place said the camel was not attacking the dog. I watched it. Instead of them running to get help at the restaurant, which is 60 feet away, where we have people who are trained to tend to the camel, they decided to crawl under the barbed wire fence. At that point, you invaded his space, which is private property. I guess he felt threatened.
This year in news, junk that's in the news, we've had so many wonderful stories that we never thought we'd top. I mean, we've had plants with their own hotel. We've had boys jerking off with, what was that? Toothpaste. We've had women stick vacuum cleaners up their vaginas to stop their periods. And this week, we have a woman biting the testicles of a camel to get it off her. As Oink mentioned, we've heard of everything, but we've never heard of biting the balls of a camel to get him off of you. Just let us know if your camel order will come with 1 or 2 humps in the near future.
Masturbating with toothpaste?
Yes, that's a real thing. You missed that show, Marquis. You missed it.
Oh, man. Hold on. The last question of the article was, my only question to her husband was, why did you throw the doggy treat under the fence? And the husband said, I wasn't thinking.
Either he wasn't thinking, or it was one of those, I'm just going to throw us over here and see what the dog does moments. And yeah.
No, it was one of those, I don't like this dog and I want the camel to kill it.
Well, I didn't want PETA on this week, but there we are.
Oh, you know how I feel about PETA.
Oh my God, they low crawled under the fence.
I want to see the video.
Somebody else's balls for once. Fuck.
Well, I have to say,
there you have it. That's your news.
I've got to give a challenge to every one of our listeners, live and on the podcast. If you can beat any of the stories that we've had thus far in 2019, other than satirical news, it has to be a real news story. Currently, that has happened this year that we've not noticed or we just didn't have. Send it in to us at oink@dvradio.net. Let us know it's through junk that's in the news. We want to one-up every fucking news article that we have. Apparently, we have the past 2 months. We keep fucking one up. Toothpaste and masturbation. Yes, toothpaste and masturbation. Yes.
Yeah, and then at the same time, women vacuum cleaners.
Fucking.
But that's logical. I'm trying to suck out the rest of my uterus. So,
No, but that's not it. It was to stop your period.
I still think
I'm
it was an
like-
at-home abortion. I really do. That started that.
It's crazy. Hey, Bo, 2 weeks ago, I know that you teased last week's show by saying I was going to explain how I got a concussion, but then I realized I wasn't on last week.
Yeah, you weren't.
I know. So I'll tell the story really fast. So a few weeks ago, I went to go pick up one of the horse's hind feet. He said, I don't think so. So he instead kicked, hit my head on one side, flung me like 6 fucking feet, and slammed me into the wall on the other side of my head. So that kind of took an ER trip.
And this is no
And that
joke.
is how
That
I got my concussion.
That actually happened, people. We're not making that shit up.
And 6 was in Colorado at the time, or North Dakota. I can't remember. Anyway, he was on the phone because we called him. And he was like, at first he said, "Are you sure you have a concussion?" And I said, "There's no way I would have slammed my head as hard as I did without wearing a helmet and not gotten a concussion." And then, like the jackass that he can be, he asked the guys that were there and saw it. He goes, "So where did she get kicked? Like in the front of her head, like in her face, or on the side of her head, in the back?" And they're like, "Oh, on the side of her head." And he goes, "Okay, good. I can stay married to her because it won't change her appearance." I was like, "You fucker. Like, I'm sitting right here."
Nice to have priorities.
No joke. We were all actually, I think we were planning on doing something that Saturday for the show. And not even 2 hours later, up pops Google in Messenger. Well, guess where I'm at? And we were like, oh, fuck. Like, none of us really knew what to say because at first we were just in shock that she actually got kicked in the head and was fucking awake and conscious enough to fucking message on Facebook.
Well, he got me at the start of his kick, which is the least powerful.
Sorry.
It's the end that you got to be careful of. And he doesn't wear hind shoes. So those are two
I knew that's where that was
major
going.
pluses.
It's the end that you have to watch out for when it comes to a horse.
Right? So yeah, that was my but I had thought it was going to be a quiet evening watching football. Nope. Nope.
Yep.
Instead, it was a quiet evening at the ER.
Yeah, and the lights hurt her eyes. I was like, you had a fucking concussion.
You know what? Google, I'm so sorry that happened, but that's what you get for being a Patriots fan.
Oh,
you know what? It's funny because before we went to the ER, I was like, change the channel to channel 4 and record the game for me.
She did.
Those priorities again.
Those priorities.
I know. Well, I mean, I got to do something.
All right. So
there you have it. That's my concussion story.
So we got through junk that's in the news. We got through Google's late but ever-ending concussion story that we promised you last week. Sorry, we didn't have it last week. I didn't know she actually listened to the podcast. That surprises me.
Who, me?
Anyway, no, the other female we have on here. The
Frosty?
He's probably got Mexican lowriders. I was going to say he's probably got Mexican lowriders. Wait, you don't have Mexican lowriders? It's Eskimo lowriders.
Get up the goddamn street.
Get off my lawn.
But so we got through junk that's in the news. Google's concussion story. We told you, please go donate to the DV Farm fundraiser that's on the DV Farm page. If you cannot donate, please share with any and everybody that you possibly can. Tell people outside of Facebook, hey, look, go over here, support DV Farm, because seriously, DV6 is worried. He wanted me to tell you about all that. DVfarm.org if you want to donate directly. Also, smile.amazon.com, make DV Farm your charity of choice. When you check out, at no extra cost or hidden fees, a portion of your shopping cart price goes directly to the DV Farm. Christmas is coming up, Thanksgiving's coming up. A few people probably have birthdays coming up, so go do that if you can, and you're shopping online anyway. Twitter at DV_DV Radio. MeWe is DV Radio. Join the group. We do not accept friend requests, just the group, okay? We don't do the friend request thing. All right, we just got to have a profile, so we had to make a profile to make the group, right? Patreon.com/DV Radio. Become a Patreon member if you can. The cheapest one is $1, and if you can afford it, move on up in tiers. Also, PayPal. We are getting ready to roll out a completely new site for dvradio.net. Hopefully, we have that up and running by next week, midweek, late week. Hopefully, we have it by the next Barretts Talk. Let us know what you think about it. We let some of our Patreon members beta test it, and other than a few minor hiccups, because, I didn't work on mobile all fucking night. I worked on the desktop version, you assholes. We think we got all that fixed, and we hope you all enjoy the new website and functionality of that. Kevin, Charlie Mike Podcast, tell them where they can listen one more time, if you don't mind.
Yes, you can find it wherever you get your podcast. Just search Charlie Mike Podcast, and it should pop right up for you. You can also find me on Facebook, Charlie Mike Podcast.
Yes, we look forward to syndicating your show here and working with you in collaboration as well as original shows. And you're always welcome to come here on Barretts Talk anytime that you feel that you want to be on here. Betsy Ross interview will be on October 12th, and Mike Guardia is next Saturday, October 5th. Please tune in for those interviews. We can't wait for you guys to hear what we got there. Marquis Dirty 30 about the impeachment process will be up on podcast in the next couple of days. Marquis, tell them really quick what it is before we go.
It's about the impeachment process. We go into a historical viewpoint on it, and we talk about what's currently happening right now in the world.
And before we go, Oink, any last words?
Nah, just a quarter. Brother Rico is not here tonight. Stay safe and keep looking out for one another, fuckers.
Frosty, are you able to talk, or is there lowriders going by?
I think I'm safe for a second. Yeah, just remember, stop at 55 times, so you don't want to die when you hit that 56.
Google yourself.
Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Kevin, would you like to have a few last words?
Just thanks for having me on, and if everybody could go check out my podcast, and hope you enjoy it. It's just kind of my perspective on what's going on.
And Marquis, brother.
Hey, everybody. I just want to say thank you guys for all the support and all the uplifting comments you guys have not given to me anywhere. Other than that, Ellen DeGeneres is funny. See you later.
For DV6 and Rico, who could not make it tonight, Oink, Marquis, Frosty, Google, and Kevin from the Charlie Mike Podcast, I'm Boner Wood. You just heard Barretts Talk right here on WDVRDVRadio.net. Until next week, Foxicles. Bye-bye.
Hit us up on Facebook and Twitter.
That's all, folks. Goodbye, motherfucker!
DV Radio.